how important do you think Apple is in the big picture?
You know, I don't really think about tech as one big bucket. I know none of these guys do. I think you have to think about software and semis and other things very different. Obviously, when I think about Apple very high level, I think it's about phone replacement cycle, and it's about that services business, which has been on fire. It seems like both would have slowed a little anyway, independent of this. They are, trade war. So but a lot of that could be priced in. I'm, certainly not involved. But I would say I don't see how. I like your joke. I mean, I don't see how it's not about pricing for them. They've got to cut it. Price on the phone.
I think the bigger issue is, rather than is a deal priced into the market, what happens if the deal doesn't occur? Is that priced into the market? And with the numbers that you cited, 3% off the highs, the market, I wouldn't say is complacent. They don't know what to do. So if you don't know what to do, you just basically do nothing. But clearly, if you move out past, I think, the end of June, when Xi and Trump are meeting at the G20 and nothing happens or you get more negative news, the market takes a big fall down.
I think there's risk, though, too, with a company like Apple, that the more prolonged this is and the nastier it gets, that you might end up with a situation where Chinese consumers sour on American brands and don't want to buy them. So that also could hurt a company like Apple that's, really reliant on selling products to the Chinese consumer. No one feels like there's been any level, Joe, of complacency around the Apple issue. Yes, we've made this move against Huawei. I don't know of a whole, a lot of people out there saying, oh, there's going to be a backlash now. They're going to stop buying Apple phones. It's like, well, that's going to work itself out. Well, the tariffs are hanging over, the market a little bit, but they're going to work something out. The additional tariffs aren't really going to go into effect. Well, what if both of those worst case scenarios happen? You get some kind of ban of Apple products, and you will get additional tariffs. Because just when you think things aren't going to happen, it's been proven out that they actually have.
Exactly. Well, let's put it this way. What's the probability on a ban? Does anyone know the answer to that? No. That's the great unknown. If a ban was to occur, yes, I think all of us would agree there's going to be a hit to EPS as it relates to Apple. I also think within the Goldman Sachs note, they bring out a very good point, and I think it's a mistake for people to think that very quickly you could take production volume and move it out of China so quickly. And I've heard that often, and I don't think that's correct. I think that is a slower process that's more like turning a battleship. As it relates to the Apple note and to your comments, though, just think about the variety of the change in sentiment. So the Goldman analyst just 1 month ago raises the price target from 140 to 184. Why? Because Tim Cook is on the conference call talking about how things are going well.
Things are getting better in China.
Things are getting better in China. And now here we are 3 weeks later, talking about a complete ban. So the last point, and I think this is the important part of the tariffs, is understanding the real problem and specific to the consumer is going to be if we place tariffs on the remaining $325 billion. The first $50 billion, that was machinery, industrial equipment. The next $200 billion, yes, you've got some consumer products, but you go to the $325 billion, and that encompasses the bulk of consumer goods, and that's where it becomes an issue.
I was just going to say, I only worked 18 years on the sell side, but I wouldn't marry myself to the price targets too much. They tend to turn the fasten seatbelt line after it's, after it's turbulent. So I think you want it when you own growth stocks and you own tech stocks, you don't want the sell side to love it and be raising the target. So I do have some sympathy for they take it down a little, things clear out, and then maybe you can have an opportunity.